My delight to welcome you to the Center for Spiritual Living Red Deer and our celebration of life and love. And today I know that we all benefit from a few minutes of quiet, of what we call meditation. And if you choose to be with me now, in that place, choose your own way of getting there. If it's a few deep breaths, or simply being conscious of where your breath is, when it comes in and when it goes out. I'll use my own mantra. I breathe, I relax, I am. I breathe, I relax, I am. I breathe, I relax, I am. And I might take an extra deep breath and let it out as a puff. And let my shoulders fall with it. So once again, the deep breath in. I might let my head fall just the tiniest bit so the muscles of my neck don't have to work to hold it. And today I'm choosing to enter into a space that is clear, that is clean. And if through the meditation, if stray thoughts come into my mind, I perceive them as clouds in a blue sky, and I might mentally lift my hands and gently push those clouds aside. And so I can do with stray thoughts. I can lift my hands and gently push them aside and invite them to come back later. And as I speak in the I am, please know that these words can be your I am as well as you embrace them. And today I choose to go on a journey of receptivity. I ask you to say to yourself, I am enough. And if something arises within you that says, but, then clench your hands, close them tight, and then repeat, I am enough. And open your hands and say, yes. Try it again. I am enough. And if your hands want to close, say it again. I am enough. I accept that I am enough. Yes. What I do is enough. Who I am is enough. And again, if there's something within you, a muscle, maybe in your stomach, maybe you feel it in your toes or in the muscles of your abdomen or chest, if there's something that is closing to those words, open your hands, open your heart, open your belly, open yourself and say, yes, who I am is enough. What I do is enough. Practice saying that until your hands no longer want to come into a clenched position. Say it until there is no more but. Now try saying, there is that within me at the center of my being that is divine. Does a mental but come into your mind? Do the fists or the stomach or the muscles around the heart clench in some way? Open your hands. Open your heart. Relax those muscles and say, yes, there is that within me which is divine. At the center of my being is a spark and a reality that is God Himself expressing through me and as me. In my human experience, I might stumble. I might even fall. I might experience lack, limitation. I might experience loneliness and feel cut off from all the good that I have previously experienced. Can you say, I am open to that which I require and that which I desire, without having a but follow it? If you want to say but, close your fists around it. If you feel it in your stomach, your guts, your heart, open your hands, your heart, the very guts of you. Open to a yes. Are you open to experiencing more good today than you experienced yesterday? Look at your answer. See it printed in front of your eyes. Does it say yes? Or does it say yes, but? And if there is that but there, let go of it, unclench your hands. Take an eraser to that word in front of your eyes, or a magic eraser, until you're left with only a yes. Are you open to experience the divine of yourself as perfect health and well-being, as vitality and joy? Again, look at your answer. Is there a but in there? But the doctors say, but I have this or that. But I am having the experience of this disorder, maybe a headache, maybe a joint problem, whatever it is. Can you say yes to the divinity of yourself, to the divine truth? Can you open your hands to it? Open your heart and your mind, your guts, and say yes to health. put another big yes in front of your eyes, maybe with an exclamation mark. Take that in. Take it in through your eyes and your ears, your fingers and your toes, in every particle of your being. Allow a resounding yes into your consciousness. What is the state of your relationships with a significant other? It's all right, but a partial hand clench, a partial gut wrench. Can you declare, yes, I am open to that special and wonderful relationship with my significant other? I can only call that person my significant other if they are truly significant in my life, my joy, my well-being. If there is a but attached, maybe I need to look into it. Is that but about something I am feeling about him or her? Unwrap that but. Take a look at it. What does it look like? Do you need to open your heart and your mind and your body and your soul and say a resounding yes? Or is there something so significant involved in the but that it needs more examination? Maybe a session, a private session of visioning about that relationship. A session in which you ask for guidance and then you sit and listen. You take time to envision what the divine state of your relationship would look like. And if you can say a yes to that, you can ask for further guidance on how to get there, to where your hands are open, your heart is open, the very guts of you are open to yes. Find your yes consciousness. Whenever a yes but stares you in the face, ask why. Ask if this is a but that can be released. Is this a yes that can stand alone? Is this a yes that has the power of the divine of you behind it? The divine of you is right here, right now. I ask you and declare for myself, I open myself to that presence. I invite you to open yourself to that presence. Maybe declaring to yourself, I am that which thou art. Thou art that which I am. I am that which thou art. Thou art that which I am. And so it is.
Thank you, Audrey. Beautiful music. Thank you, Reverend Judy. Thank you, everyone who is here physically and those who are here with the live stream. Thank you for being here. I'm Reverend Tress Phillips, and it is a joy to be here. And I'm just going to toot the horn here of David Suzuki. He is on our new Science of Mind magazine. Right outside the door there, we have them for sale, but it's our own David Suzuki, and so I am so proud of that. So we do have an announcement. There is a bingo coming up on the 14th of July, and we do need volunteers. So if you can volunteer or you know someone who loves working bingos, please contact Marianne Lee, and her number is 403-307-5874. Marianne Lee, 403-307-5874. And now we have for our children, and I know that Haley's here, but she's off having fun. Good for her. And we have a word for our children, be they little or be they growing up, and it's called responsibility. So when you take responsibility for your own actions, others can count on you. People who make excuses instead of taking responsibility keep making the same mistakes. Others would like to depend on us. If we are responsible, then they can. So the affirmation is, I give my best. So please repeat with me, I give my best. Okay, now we do have our opening affirmation. It is on the purple sheet. We have new sheets because it's July. Today, and please repeat with me, today I am confident, expecting, and accepting only good. Every door is open to me. Health, prosperity, wisdom, and joy are my divine inheritance. I am ready to accept that inheritance, to enter into my joy and sit down on my throne. The kingdom of heaven is here and now, and so it is. And I get to announce that Reverend Judy is going to be speaking. Our July theme is pulled by vision, and Reverend Judy's talk title is We Hold These Principles. So Reverend Judy.
Good morning again, and to those of you who have just joined us live stream, it's such a pleasure to see more people in our building. We're not wearing masks. We're still observing a little bit of social distancing, but freedom is here now. Embrace it and continue being sensible. We don't want a resurgence. So I've got one announcement to add, and I hadn't given it to Reverend Teresh, so I'll just do my own. On Wednesday, I'm starting a program I used to call 7 Wednesdays in the summer. It's really a mastermind clinic. And if you don't know what a mastermind clinic is, you might try showing up for 7 o'clock this Wednesday evening. And if you really need to know what it's about, you can ask me. It takes about an hour and a half. If we have 10 people, maybe. If we have 4 or 5 people, an hour will do it nicely. And this is a program where it'll run right until the last Wednesday in August. But you can come to one session, or you can come to all the sessions, or you can come to one here and one there. Doesn't make any difference. This is a time when we get to share some of what we require and what we desire, and have the group sharing an affirmation with us and to us and for us throughout the following week. It's also a chance to get to know some of our fellow spiritual scientists a little bit better. So if you have the time and if you're curious, show up Wednesday at 7 or the following Sunday at 7. It's always a great experience. So with that, let's just go into an opening treatment. I know the good of this day. I know that joy follows me throughout this day, through every moment. Through this time at the Center for Spiritual Living, Red Deer, as I go to my home, as I go about my afternoon activities, my evening activities, my sleep, my awakening, that which I choose to call God or Spirit or universal presence is with me, not just when I speak a name, but always to the extent that I permit it, like a bubbling spring, to bubble up within me, to make clear the way before me, to speak in that quiet voice, giving me the answers to the questions I haven't even asked. I know that the good of this day is the divine of this day. The good of this day is knowing that God is all there is. All of the love there is, all of the joy there is, all of the abundance there is, and that it is bestowed upon each one of us as we are open to accepting it, as we affirm it to be ours, as we affirm ourselves as being deserving, as beings of spirit, beings of light. We are of it and in it. It is of us and in us. It is ours to accept. To know right here and right now that each of us accepts, is open to accepting our highest and greatest good, whatever that looks like. I give loving thanks, knowing it is done, and so it is. Okay, that feels pretty good. Now, on these principles, if we were following the head office suggestions for today, we'd be talking about the U.S. Constitution, and we hold these truths, blah, blah, blah. Well, and it's great. It's a great document. And so I chose to use a bit of the title, but addressed to our science of mind principles, as opposed to a national celebration, if you would. We had our national celebration, and this year it was a little bit sad because many of us were wearing orange. Many of us, in spite of our love for our country, became aware, and some of us felt some shame at what our country has done in the past to the original inhabitants of this country. And so today, let's just know that we are open to promote healing in whatever form we can offer, to those who are presently with us in our community who survived those schools, but who still carry the mental and physical scars. Let us know and hold them in our heart as our brothers and sisters, and know for them greater peace and greater well-being and greater joy and healing, because in our teaching we say we are one. There is only one presence, and every being is of that presence. So that's off my topic, but that's what I wanted to say today about our Canada Day celebration. And maybe it is a celebration that we become more aware of what has happened in our past. But let's move on from that. Many, many years ago, back, it would have been probably in the early 1900s, maybe even after 1926, when the book The Science of Mind was first published by Ernest Holmes. A newspaper writer, a journalist, approached him after he had acquired a little bit of fame in the Los Angeles area. And this journalist asked him, well, what do you believe? And Ernest said, give me a day and I'll get back to you on that. So he went home and wrote what we now call the Declaration of Principles, and that was published. And this is still our guiding force when we're standing on this platform. We're hoping that we're helping you more fully understand some of these principles. So let's just go through them. The first one is, we believe in God, the living Spirit Almighty, one indestructible, absolute, and self-existent cause. So we're saying that what we call God or Spirit, we don't care what you call it, but that it is one, that it is the cause of everything. It is the cause of the manifest universe, the cause of our planet and all life upon our planet. And the next article says, this one manifests itself in and through all creation, but is not absorbed by its creation. The manifest universe is the body of God. It is the logical and necessary outcome of the infinite self-knowingness of God. So, all of its creations, God manifests itself in and through all of its creations. That means you and you and you and you and you and you. Can you breathe that one in and open your hands and give it a yes? We believe in the incarnation of the Spirit in everyone, and that all people are incarnations of the one Spirit, very much like the last one. We believe in the eternality, the immortality, and the continuity of the individual soul, forever and ever expanding. So how do you like that? Can you accept the belief that you as a soul, as spirit, are eternal, that you're immortal, and that there's a continuity of your soul, and that it is forever and ever expanding? How about that? I love it. We believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. There's the trick. We can experience heaven within us, but only when we become conscious of it. That can take a little bit of work. Might take a little bit of meditation time, prayer work, accepting work. When was the last time somebody offered you to pay for your coffee and you said no? Ever do that? in the study of written religious science, that's a no-no. When you offered a gift, say yes. When you're offered a compliment, say yes, thank you. As in my meditation, I remember being complimented on something and saying, oh yes, but I just got it here, or it was on sale, so I bought, you know, thank you, and come up with the buts to try to cancel out your good that is being acknowledged instead of reinforcing it for your own consciousness. Thank you. Can you say thank you to the universe if you pick up a dime off the sidewalk? Can you say thank you to the universe? I'm alive, awake, and aware for one more day. Can you say that every morning? Can you say thank you for my body? Thank you for everything I experience just as it is, and I'm expecting more and better tomorrow, more and better an hour from now maybe, or half an hour from now. Look at today. We have this beautiful new experience that we can be mask-free in our spiritual home. Okay. Oh, the other point I wanted to make on that, any of you who are very familiar with the Bible will remember that when his disciples were asking Jesus, where is this kingdom of heaven? And the response Jesus gave was, neither lo here nor lo there, for the kingdom of heaven is within. So you see where our article of belief around that comes from. We believe that heaven is within us and that we experience it to the degree that we become conscious of it. Then we move on. Everybody practice goal setting at any time? Well, our Declaration of Principles says, we believe the ultimate goal of life to be a complete emancipation from all discord of every nature, and that this goal is sure to be attained by all. That is a mouthful, to be free of discord of any kind. It's hard enough on an individual basis. Can we imagine that without the fist clench for our world, even for our country or our community? Emancipation from all discord. And this is a little bit ridiculous, but what jumped into my mind was little birdies in their nest agree. Well, we know that's not always true. Little birdies in their nest disagree sometimes. But the point is, if we hold that as an ultimate goal and believe, take it into our consciousness that it can be here and now, and it can start with any one of us. That the ultimate goal of life, emancipation of discord of every kind. We believe in the unity of all life, and that the highest God and the innermost God is one God. No duality, no old man with a white beard sitting on a cloud peering in our bedroom window, but a presence within us, a presence around us, a presence that is us, that embraces everything, circumferenced everywhere, limited nowhere. As one of our past members here who has transitioned to his next phase of immortality used to say, and it's a direct quote from Ernest Holmes, actually, there is not a spot where God is not. So every spot, God is present. We want that, an awareness of that. If you can, try taking that into your consciousness. There is not a spot where God is not, and that includes you. These articles of or this declaration of principles is something that is so dear to me, that it's so significant to me, that I simply hope that you will share it and get a feel for this. That is something that you can spend some time looking at and meditating on and taking into your consciousness. And we continue. We believe that God is personal to all who feel this indwelling presence. If you want a presence that you can walk with and talk with as you would a friend, make God personal to yourself. If you want to name it Doug, go for a walk with Doug, knowing that you are one, knowing that that presence within you is your friend, is personal. It's not something, like we said, not up there on a cloud, but in here, to be connected with, to talk with, to walk with. The innermost God and the outermost God is one God, and we believe that God is personal to all who feel the indwelling presence. We believe in the direct revelation of truth through the intuitive and spiritual nature of the individual, and that any person may become a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God. That's the proviso. Anyone can be a revealer of truth who lives in close contact with the indwelling God, whether that is Buddha, whether that is a Catholic priest, whether that is an emir in Islam, whether it is trying to think, the Jewish leader, a rabbi, anyone who is in close contact with the indwelling God is a revealer of truth. We don't care what name they put on the structure around their contact with their indwelling God. So if that contact is in a Catholic church, bless them. If it's in a mosque, bless them. If it's here in a Center for Spiritual Living, bless us. No judgment, just knowing that anyone on this planet can be in close contact with the indwelling God. We believe that the universal spirit, which is God, operates through a universal mind, which is the law of God, and that we are surrounded by the creative mind, which receives the direct impress of our thought and acts upon it. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty. When we say there is a power to heal, there is a power in the universe greater than we are, and we can use it. That's what we're talking about. We're saying that wherever your dominant thoughts and feelings lie, your dominant words, the things that are constantly with you in mind, that is what is bringing your experience to life. If I dwell on some spots on my arms, which I'm told is something called psoriasis, if I dwell on that, as opposed to dwelling on spiritual principles, what am I going to get? Maybe a more extended experience of this. It's looking really good today. But it's every experience we have is the result of the thoughts we've been carrying with us for many, 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 many years. And the more years we've carried a dominant thought, like I'm not worthy, Somebody else can have the good of God expressing in their life, but probably not me, because I'm not important or I'm not enough. I don't do enough. But that you are just as important as the Queen of England or our Prime Minister or the President of the US. You are as good and as worthy as any other creation of God, because you know what? The essence of God within you is not measured by the teaspoonful or the tablespoon, depending on a comparison with other people. It is all yours for the accepting of it. And through what we call the law of God, we can change the experiences we're having by having the courage to take control of our thoughts and change where they're heading. Try journaling if you haven't. Try journaling through the day what your thoughts and feelings are, and read them back. Keep doing that every day, and after a week, go back and read them. How much of that has been positive? How much of that has been self-negating? How much of it has been canceling out the good of God in your experience? Have you ever, how many times have you said, I'm just I can't tell you how many times I've heard a young woman say, when I ask how they are and what they do, and her, I'm just a secretary, I'm just a clerk, I'm just this. That's cancel. Open your hands. You are not just anything. You are divine, always have been, always will be. Open yourself to it. Accept the divinity of your own nature. What you do is not who you are. What you do is your gift to your society and to your employer, maybe in exchange for a livelihood, exchange for the cash that you use to pay your rent or your mortgage and buy your food, and that's great, but that isn't who you are. Who you are is the essence of God expressing itself in a form that looks like Lena or Diane or Pat or Penny or Travis or Ruth or Gord or Audrey, any of us, or Ray or Ron. The essence of God expressing itself in your form and features. Maybe in the form of hair that is suffering from humidity. Isn't that great? Humidity can fluff my hair. That's God in action. Well, let's go on. Here is a really important one. We believe in the healing of the sick through the power of this mind. All right, now I told you I've been experiencing what we call psoriasis. And you know what the wonderful lesson is in this? As I've been watching a patch of the irritation fade away, and I look at this beautiful new skin that grows in behind it, that's part of the lesson. And because I have used this to express a greater truth, it is free to leave my experience now, because I have often taught about healing powers of God coming from the core of our being and letting the perfection within unfold into the outer experience. And I've talked about the body renewing itself, every cell in our body renewing itself at least once a month or maybe more often. This is the example of it. Where I've got a little white spot here, that is a cells of the body renewing themselves according to their original pattern of perfection. And that is what we need to know. We've got practitioners, Reverend Tress, all our ministers, myself, Juliet, and we've got Gord and Lou, our practitioner interns. And it's our job to know the truth of you. in what we call a practitioner session, a little bit of discussion, a few questions, a little bit of getting to know each other, and then doing what we call spiritual mind treatment, which isn't about healing anything. It's about revealing the perfection that has already that has always been there. Revealing the perfection that is already there as the truth of who you are. So if you're feeling in need of an improvement in your life of some kind, talk to Reverend Tress or myself or Gord or Lou or Juliet or Reverend Valentine or Reverend Gail. We love doing spiritual mind treatment. Am I right? Give me a yes. Reverend Tress agrees. Gord is in agreement. You bet he is. So the healing of the sick is not about healing. And our teaching says, hey, if you go to the doctor and he gives you a pill and you feel that the pill makes you feel better, fine, take the pill. That doesn't interfere with our revealing the truth, revealing the perfection that is already within you. Let them work together, because God is in that doctor's hands too, and in the chemist who created that pill. So, open your hand. Don't say but. Say thank you. Say yes. We believe in the control of conditions through the power of this mind. Okay, what are conditions? A condition might be in the experience of trying to find a place to live and you're not having very good results. Talk to a practitioner. We can know if you're looking for a home to buy. My favorite line is perfect owner, perfect seller, perfect buyer, perfect time, perfect price, perfect right action for all concerned. Perfect unfolding of perfect good for everybody involved. Can you know that for yourself? The divine right and perfect property puts itself in front of my face, and everything around my occupancy of that property unfolds in delightful ways, and maybe through making new friendships. So we believe we can control our conditions. We can't control what another person does. We can, about another person, it's got to be the highest and greatest good of all concerned. We can't say, well, my husband has been so mean to me, blah, blah, blah. I want you to do a treatment that he changes and starts becoming more supportive and more blah, blah. That's not spiritual mind treatment. We do spiritual mind treatment for you, that your consciousness expands to a greater acceptance of loving relationships, that your consciousness expands to understand more fully and more lovingly the situation as it is now. And if you want it to change, it starts with a change in your consciousness, not in the consciousness of the other person. See all this responsibility you have? Frightening, isn't it? But then we move on to a couple of lovely wrap-up declarations. We believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of life to all. Isn't that reassuring, to believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal lovingness, and the eternal givingness to all? Not just to people at Centers for Spiritual Living, not just to people who go to this church or say these words, but to all. And the last one, we believe in our own soul, our own spirit, and our own destiny, for we understand that the life of all is God. The life of you 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 is God. How much more can we accept? Isn't that a marvelous statement? And I guess I would like to ask if there's anyone here today or anyone listening today that would like a copy of this Declaration of Principles. You could probably email the centre, and I'm sure Reverend Trust could email it out to you. You can email me or contact me through Facebook, and I can mail it out to you. And I have one copy right here that I can give to somebody if they want to take it home. And with that, I simply want you to know that you are the life of God. I am the life of God. Life is God. God is life, eternal and ever expanding, and so it is. And with that, we'll move into the closing portion of our program. Let's begin by reading our prosperity affirmation together. I am consciously aware of the abundance and the potential of the ever-expanding universe. I accept my right to be here and to experience life in joyous and abundant ways. I make the choice to say yes to life and accept all it has to offer. I give freely and receive with gratitude, and so it is. And we're still, I guess for another week or two, we might keep our donations basket up front until we've got, more people in the seats, and then we'll have ushers again, people who pass the baskets around. But in the meantime, we invite you just to come up and put your envelope in the basket. And if you're watching from home, same old, you can donate through our website, www.cslreddeer.org. There is a donate button, and you can pay either with a credit card or through PayPal. Or you can mail us a check at Centre for Spiritual Living, Red Deer, Box 28075, T4N7C2. We do thank you for your support. It's been a rough year and a half for every religious center. While we've been largely not open, we haven't had our basket passing around and collecting our normal degree of sharing, but we've made it, and we thank everyone who has participated in the sharing of your good for the greater good of this center. And let's read our closing affirmation. There is something within me that has the answer to every question, the wisdom and the strength to meet every challenge. As I learn to trust this inner power, I experience peace and harmony in all my affairs. Spirit is active in my life. I am truly blessed, and so it is. And a closing treatment. God is, I am. I know it, I accept it, I live it, and so it is.